Well, Newsline continues. On Thursday, President William Ruto addressed the nation from Embu, and he was making several promises and also looking back at what his government is doing and what it's putting in place for the development of the country. One of the things that he mentioned was that come September, the country will be making a bigger switch towards electric mobility. And particularly he's saying that he had good news for bodaboda riders across the country, one of them being the person who seconded him when he was presenting his papers to the IEBC. And he's saying that bodaboda man should know that come September, he should be able to switch over into electric bodabodas. Now, the reaction across the country was huge. We'll talk about the reaction shortly, but first look at what the president said on Thursday.
I have some good news for my bodaboda friends. When I went around the country, they stepped forward and they told me they are victims of an exploitative financing system. I want to tell them, my good friends, I have some good news for you. We are developing, and by September this year, we will have a mechanism where you can get your bodaboda that does not need petrol, that will be run on electricity, one that is financed by not a predatory system, but one that respects the interests of those who purchase the bodabodas.
Well, that's some good news, of course, if you think about what the president was saying. But now, the reaction from the public was one of disbelief. What do you mean, electric bodabodas? By September of this year? Like, really, are you serious? Now, let's talk about that reality. I'm joined by three guests for this conversation. One of them is Ken Onyango. Ken is the Secretary General of the Bodaboda Association of Kenya. And we also have Moses Nerito, who is a founder member of the Electric Mobility Association of Kenya, and also an official of Basigo, which are electric buses that are already on the roads, and Caroline Garariga, who is a bodaboda rider. And she's here with her bike, which is an electric bike. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So first, the good thing is that we at least have a bike here that we can see this is a real bike and everything, and you'll be taking us through this particular bike, Caroline.
Okay.
But let's start with that. This is an electric bike.
Yes.
And you're already using it on Kenyan roads.
Yes.
For how long have you had this bike?
I have used it for an year now. I started using it last year. So it haven't been so long because the company started about a bit late last year, so that's when I got it. I was among the first people to get it.
What do you do for a job, Caroline?
I am a delivery rider. I work for an online delivery app, that is Carrefour, if I may. Yeah, that is my day job.
That's what you do on a daily basis?
Yes, that is my main source of income. And
you said that you've been using an electric bike for the last 1 year?
Yeah.
How did you get your hands on this bike?
I had a friend of mine who introduced me to the bike. Actually, I was not going to pick the electric bike. I was going to go and take the petrol bike. Someone told me before I went there that there's a new version of bikes that is coming through. It's an electric bike, does not use fuel at all. It's very economical, and I was like, so why not? I went and picked the bike and I started using it. I've never used the petrol one before.
There are very many questions, of course, that I'm going to ask.
Yeah.
From how do you charge this thing? How long does the battery run? Does it use small pin charger?